Yeah. Okay. So yes. So a bit of house rules, please, if you have any question, something that pops up along the events and you probably don't want to forget, use the chat section and just, ask your questions there. We have moderators who will be there watching. We also have speakers who are members of Ignited Future community that would also respond to you there if they have the right answer to your question. So, I mean, it's very important that you be specific, keep your questions very specific. Even if you don't have to make it short, just be specific so we understand what you're asking about. Then, if you think using the chat section is going to not, because sometimes typing may not explain exactly the way you feel your questions will come off when you speak. So you can always, raise your hands. There's a raise hand section in Zoom. Then raise your hand and yeah, just let us know. We'll look at it. So if you are a beginner, if you've never known anything regarding study abroad, if you've never known anything regarding what it means to even get a foreign scholarship, please, we want to prioritize you. We want to give you special attention. So just indicate by letting us know. So yeah, if you have any questions about document review and all that, please, that is going to be a more of a follow-up stuff after the event. So in this event, what we are going to do is we're going to look into um, first of all, the roadmap to study abroad and scholarships. Then, after that, we'll definitely go into the speaker experience segment where most people, I would want to say, I'm very proud of the fact that this statement I'm going to make, I'm very proud of it. Most of the speakers for this event, if not all, are indirectly or directly beneficiaries of the Ignited Future community, which is the mentorship arm of the Raphael Onuku Foundation. And they are all studying in various parts of the countries abroad for either master's or PhD studies. So I'm very happy that they are going to share their experiences with you, and they are going to let you know, you know, their personal experience other than a general thing that we have to say. So there will also be platform for you as a participant to ask your questions. You unmute yourself, you ask your questions. Like I said, you raise your hands. There's a section where I think you can indicate. You raise your hands, then you'll be called upon, and then you ask your questions. Please also, when you think something there's something that has been said that relates to you or that feels okay, there's this is an amazing statement or an amazing slide or an amazing presentation. Please use the I think there is a reaction section where you can use certain reactions basically. So I look forward to that. At least if it's not like it's important, but I think it will go a long way to make us understand that okay, you're following and you're understanding what is going on. So that said, so who is this event meant for? If you're a beginner, you have never in your entire life applied for a foreign scholarship or studying abroad, but you're very much interested, you're passionate about it, then this is for you. You do not know where to start. This is for you. Then you want people to share examples or how their journey has been. This is for you. Then, if you have been trying and you've been making attempts and nothing has been working, this event is also for you. If you need certain clarities regarding certain opportunities that are out there, this is for you. If you want certain feedbacks based on what you've been doing before, this event is for you. So, what are you going to be leaving with when you're done with this event? So, like I mean, if some of you have been following me on Facebook, which I've always dedicated my profile to talking about, I mean, aside from my personal things, I talk about scholarships a lot, talk about ways to go about scholarships for a very long time now. So um, most people actually struggle because they do not know, the right structure or the right way to go about this thing called study abroad opportunity. So that's why this particular session is going to give you a clear order on where to start and how to best have your structure. So what are the outcome we hope that you go home with today? We hope that you go home with a very clear roadmap. Where do I start if I haven't even done anything about studying abroad? Where do I start? This you get to know. Then you get to know some of the things that are required of you to be able to proceed with your interest. And you also get to know about funding strategy that is out there and how to go about these funding strategies. So, yeah. Regarding the speakers, of course, I've been making announcements over the week regarding those guys who are going to be our speakers. I will share their experiences. Today, we have, by the grace of God, we have Kingsley, from Kingsley, who is currently studying in Taipei Medical University for a master's program in cancer biology and drug discovery. I mean, they will get to definitely introduce themselves, but this is more like me telling you about the speakers' highlights. So Kingsley is the director of mentorship with the Raphael Oniku Foundation. He's been very much amazing. He's also a good friend. So Kingsley, I think Kingsley went to Taiwan in 2024 for his master's program. So the second speaker that we're going to have that will share his experience is Chukwuemeka from Chukwuemeka. Please don't get it wrong if you think I'm just talking about, maybe this is about science. No, this is not about science. Whatever we are going to say today or whatever we're going to share today will also be applied to those in the arts. In fact, if you are in the arts, I encourage you to ask questions, especially things pertaining to you, so that we do not miss anything that might be important to you. It's you all people get to know people in their own space. Unfortunately, I'm in the science space, and most people that I know are within science as well. So when we are talking, don't say, oh, this event is only for those who did science, or this event is only for those who studied pharmacy. No, this event is for you. It's for everyone and can always be applied um, to any field that you have studied or that you're interested in studying. So yeah, so Chukwuemeka is a recipient of the Ministry of Education Taiwan Government Scholarship, which is the best scholarship you can actually have, being a foreigner or an international student in Taiwan, to the best of my knowledge. So he arrived Taiwan in 2025, last year, for his master's program at China Medical University. He's studying biomedical sciences. So Chukwuemeka is also the assistant director of the mentorship program with the Raphael Oniku Foundation. Yeah. Then our third speaker is Ogechukwu from Ogechukwu, who is a PhD candidate of natural products at the Kanzawa University in Japan. Ogechukwu is also my friend, and he will be sharing his experience. He's also a recipient of the Japanese government, if you know about the MEXT scholarship, that you would know is an amazing scholarship. He's a recipient of that scholarship in Japan. So we also have Farm Confidence and Farm Gabriel. So, like I said, do not get this wrong. It's just because of my space. So that's why I'm mixed up with a lot of pharmacists. So this event, we don't even remember we are I know most of us, we don't practice pharmacy at this exact point. So we don't even see that as something that is related to us because we've gone into more deeper sciences. So please do not get this misinterpreted, by my mode of introduction. So we're all pharmacists, by the way. So yeah, so Farm Confidence is also a recipient of the MOE Taiwan Government Scholarship. He also arrived Taiwan in 2025. He's a beneficiary of the Ignited Future community, just like Chukwemeka and everyone. Um, he's studying his master's in biomedical sciences and at China Medical University. So likewise is Fam Gabriel. He's also in China Medical University. He arrived Taiwan in 2025, and he's currently on his master's in translational medicine and new drug development. And Fam Zumuzo, um, one thing I like about Fam Zimozoy is the amazing, amazing friendship we share and our amazing story in the mentorship aspect. She is the first person that I actually, spoke to regarding studying in Taiwan, and eventually she got the opportunity. She did her master's, same place where I did my master's, Taipei Medical University. She was a recipient of the MOE Taiwan Government Scholarship in 2023, and currently, Zimozo is a PhD candidate of global health and health security. She did global health and health security in her master's as well in Taipei Medical University. She's still in Taipei Medical University, continuing with her PhD, and she's the recipient of the Taipei Medical University scholarship. So yeah, and here I am. So yeah, my name is Raphael, as most of you may have known. My journey has been very, I would say, inspiring even to me because when I look back, I don't think I could foresee where I am currently and how much effort I could make to get to where I am. So, but yes. Um, I'm the founder of the Raphael Onuko Foundation, and together with my team, we're going to be doing amazing things, and we're doing amazing things. So my journey started first in Taiwan, where I did my master's in pharmacy. So under the Taiwan government scholarship, I was also a recipient. Then after my master's program in Taiwan, I came here in the United States at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, for my PhD. So I'm also a recipient of the CORD scholarship, which is usually given um, in my program here for certain persons, I guess. So I'm lucky enough. Then while in Taiwan, also I was um, I was able to compete in an event known as the Fallen Walls Lab Taipei, where people share their research opinion about solving a problem. I was a third runner, and it was an amazing experience. So thank you for joining. So properly, the roadmap we have begun. So please pay attention. Where do you start? If you're a beginner, where do you even start? So this is a breakdown of what the roadmap looks like, of how to begin. So I'll break it down in further slides, but I want you to know that this is the structure we are going to be following during the course of this session. So moving forward, choosing direction. So just like I've been writing, I've always said that it is very important for us to be very strategic in our choices on places to go to study, the programs to study, and what how this program fits our background, our current background. So before you are able to say, okay, I want to study abroad, I want to further my studies abroad, you have to make three decisions. One of them is you have to decide on where to go to. What do I mean by this? Um, I mean, recently the competition is going higher. It's increasing because of certain odd challenges we are faced with in several countries, especially as Africans. So you need to find a place where you can realistically compete. What do you mean by realistically compete? For instance, if you have evaluated yourself and you think, okay, um, you don't feel confident or you've not had enough experiences to be able to pursue a particular program in a particular country. Let's say you want to apply for a master's degree and you're considering coming to the US. I'm not generalizing, but oftentimes this is not realistic because most programs for MSc in the United States is not even properly funded. People have to pay. So you have to be able to understand, okay, where can I go and I can realistically compete with what I currently have. So that is where you have to be very strategic. Then you have to also be strategic in knowing, okay, what programs do I go for? So because it's possible for you to have an undergraduate degree and from there you apply for a graduate program and you get a PhD directly. This is very much possible. People do it. People get admissions in the United States straight from their undergrad. Do people apply. I don't know which other countries this might be applied to, but most countries would require you to have a master's degree before you can do a PhD. But it's also possible to do a PhD directly from your undergraduate. So you have to understand, what programs do I go for in line with the destination that you want to go to. For instance, I doubt if you want to, most Asian countries would require you to have a master's degree before you can do a PhD. But in the US, of course, you can directly go into your PhD because there is a way that the program is made, in a way that for the first 2 years of your program, you're going through what is almost considered a master's degree. So you have to also consider or make the decision of, how does the program I'm interested in doing fit to my current background? It's going to be more difficult for someone who did, let me give an instance. It's going to be, okay, let's say you studied political science. It's going to be very difficult for somebody, or nearly impossible for someone with political science background, to do a master's degree in medicinal chemistry. Impossible. So you have to find a background that fits. And now this background, there are so many of it. So I'm going to use, like I said, I can only speak efficiently and as an expert using my own field. My background is pharmacy. As someone who studied pharmacy, I can do master's degree or PhD in so many fields I, that are currently related to being a pharmacist or studying pharmacy as an undergraduate. So it's very important that you evaluate the program that you're interested. Let's say one of the programs that I know that is that has a very wide umbrella of acceptance is public health and also an MBA. So going for a master's degree in business administration, I don't think you really need to have done business administration as an undergraduate. Going to for a master's degree in public health, you need to have some science foundation, but It's not restricted like, oh, you must be a pharmacist, you must be a nurse, you must be a doctor. I think someone who did biochemistry can do public health. So it all depends on how you evaluate this background. So it's important for you to understand, how does my background fit to my how does my the program I'm interested in doing fits to my current background. So um, if you have a pen and paper around you, you can start looking into the countries that you are interested in going into, and you list about 3 to 4 programs in a scale of preference that you think you want to go into or further your studies in. It's very important that you do that. So the next step is documents. After realizing, okay, this is what I want to do, and these are places I'm considering, you've listed out countries or regions. Okay, I'm interested in going to Asia. I'm interested in going to North America. I'm interested in going to any other region. If you have listed these things, or you have been very specific in terms of your country, like I remember when I was beginning my journey, that was back in 2020, 2021. I was still doing my NYSC when I decided, you know what, I'm going to take this very seriously. What I did was, at first, using what I mentioned earlier regarding program regarding destination and program fit, what I did was, um, I looked into what I have, and not that I looked down on myself, but I was very realistic, and I thought it's going to be a long shot for me to apply for a master's degree in the United States. It's going to be a long shot for me to apply for a master's degree in Canada, which is where most people want to go. As for Europe, only few selected European regions have fully funded opportunities, which we're definitely going to be talking about in the future. Most of the opportunities in places like, UK, you have to pay to be able to study. Rarely do you have scholarships that are available. And the ones that are available are highly, very competitive. So I had to tell myself, okay, I narrowed myself down to Asia. Then, when I began to look into, okay, I've narrowed myself down to Asia. I've already chosen my program of interest. I wanted to do either a master's degree in medicinal chemistry or a master's degree in anything related to computational chemistry or organic synthesis. I had already listed everything down. And then I began to search for countries within the Asian regions that I could go to. Then I was considering South Korea. I was considering China. I was considering Japan. I was also considering, I didn't consider Singapore. I only got to know about Singapore when I was considering for my PhD. I was considering, um, what's the other Asian country? Of course, so now, how did Taiwan even come here? Taiwan was not even among the list of places I was considering. I had started throwing applications, not like throwing, I had started applying to these other countries when I even realized that, oh, there is a country called Taiwan. And then I began to search schools in Taiwan. And there I found Taipei Medical University that was a good fit for me. So it's important. So when you eventually have done all these, search and critical background, what's next? Now, before all these, there's something I need you to understand. As a Nigerian still in Nigeria, please, it's important for you to have your international passport. This is one of the documents that you need. This is the number one document that you should go for. While you're attending to other documents, you can as well be trying to get your passport, but it's important that you do. If you're currently doing your NYSC, this is the right time. If you just currently graduated, this is the right time, and you don't have an international passport, you need to get it, because this is going to be the first document that you require for you to be able to travel abroad. So, having said that, the next thing is you have to get your academic records, your certificates, and your transcripts. So if you haven't ordered your transcript, let's say you're already a graduate, if you are still an undergraduate interested in applying for a foreign opportunity while in your final year, while you're in your penultimate year, you can actually request for a cover, I think a transcript cover, yes, from your department. I know it's more difficult in Nigeria, but I think it's also very much possible for people to be able to find a way to get their transcript as undergraduate. I mean, it's possible back in my school at the University of Nigeria, but I don't know for other universities. But the one document that you need is your academic transcripts. You need to get them. And I did a video. If you studied at the University of Nigeria, I did a video on how to obtain your transcript, which you can probably search on our YouTube video, and you'll find it there. Then you need to have an academic CV. Academic CV is different from your job CV. Academic CV is more tailored to academics, where you talk about, I mean, there are certain things that are going to be the same when you compare it to the job CV. But for academic CV, most importantly, you need to list your achievements, and also the things like publications, if you have any, and conferences, if you have any. These things I don't think is probably required. Anyway, depending on the nature of the job you're looking for. But at this moment of searching for studying abroad opportunity, what you need is to have a very good academic CV that details your achievements so far. Now, you don't need to have so much amazing achievement. You don't even need to. I know a lot of people think you have to get a first class to be able to get scholarships abroad. That is false. In fact, I can tell you that you don't need to make I mean, it's good to have a good grade. I support people working hard to get good grades, but you don't need to have a first class to get a fully funded opportunity abroad. Then you can also start making drafts of what is known as the statement of purpose. I've written a very long article on this on my Facebook timeline. Statement of purpose is the document that you will use to convince those who are reviewing your application that you are a good fit for this program, and that you have the right motivation for this particular program. So you need to have that. Now, you don't need to have all these things figured out just in a day, in a week, in a month. These are stepwise things. For most of you that I'm speaking to today, I am definitely sure that your interest would be for next year, 2027. I mean, some people can still apply for certain opportunities this year, but realistically and with a good plan, 2027 should be your major target. So now, when there's also another document known as personal statement. Now, some schools require you to submit statement of purpose and personal statement. The difference is just in the word personal. While your statement of purpose is talking about your motivation towards that field, towards that program you want to study, your personal statement is talking about what personal experience or what personal motivation that you have that led you into having interest in that field that you are now motivated to study. So I don't know if that makes sense, but some schools will require you to submit statements of purpose and personal statements. Some schools will require only statements of purpose. Why some schools are going to ask you, like most schools in Taiwan will ask you for your study plan. Study plan is kind of in between these two things. So you just have to find a way to bring it together, and make your applications. Then referee, recommendation letters. This is one of the very important documents that you need. I know some of us went through undergraduate schools, or some of us are still in the university, and we think we don't want to be friends with our lecturers. We don't want to be friends with our teachers. I mean, I know sometimes there are also reasons, personal reasons, which are very much valid as to why we make certain decisions like this. But I'm very sure all your lecturers cannot be exactly like the ones you're trying to avoid. So it's important that for those who are still undergraduates, while you're still studying, you make network with certain lecturers that you can see as your future referees. Then, if you're already done with school and you're a graduate already, and you're interested in applying for scholarships abroad, all you need to do is to strike that connection on time with some of those lecturers that you think you like. I would recommend at least two PhD holders. At least you're not necessarily a professor. If you can have one professor, good, but two PhD holders who have been teaching you as an undergraduate, you reach out to them and strike that conversation. Sir, my name is this. You taught me this when I was an undergraduate, or ma, I was in so and so class as an undergraduate. You taught me in my third year. You taught me in my fourth year. I'm currently nursing the idea of applying for studies abroad, and I would want to seek a recommendation letter from you, or use your details to request for a recommendation letter when I begin. You can even email them with your CV explaining, so that they can know, okay, this is what this person has achieved so far, in case they want to make the recommendation themselves. Sometimes also it's important you can make a draft. That is, after you have established this conversation, you can make a draft of recommendation and send to them and tell them, okay, you can make use of this draft. I mean, to however you want to use it. If you want to write a new one, good. But this is something but you have to make sure that they approve of you to send a draft. So recommendation letter is very important. I know a lot of our professors and lecturers in Nigeria. They also need to be educated on the proper ways of writing recommendation letters, because some people just write three, 4 lines and that's it. I doubt if that is going to be a good recommendation letter. But the thing is, most schools these days do not request people to draft a recommendation letter, in terms of having a letterhead. I mean, some still provide recommendation letters to be written on letterhead and uploaded, but most schools usually send a link for recommenders to make their recommendation for the candidate. So while you're filling the application form, you request for the professor's name. They will request for the professor's name and their email, or the recommender's name and their email, and you can use that. So there are also certain programs that you will be applying for, and you need more of a professional recommendation, maybe from your workplace, other than the academic recommendation. Okay, not other than, but more like in addition to the academic recommendation. So it's important that you understand what you need. Then have a good portfolio. For some of you that think, oh, I've never had any research experience before, do you know that your undergraduate project is also a research experience? Do you know that some of the experiments or some of the field works that you have conducted are also research experience? So you need to put these things properly in your portfolio and also in your CV. So, like I said, you don't have to wait for the time to be perfect. You just have to start somewhere. You have to start now. And as you make these drafts, most of us who are where we are today studying, we didn't just create one draft and voila, it was successful. No, we had several drafts. We had people review it for us. We had people look into it for us before we can say, okay, this is the draft that got us where we are. So this is very important. So build your documents. So you have to also have, I think I've touched a couple of these things while speaking in the previous slide. So you have to build proof. You have to have something that you can show that this is what I've been doing. It's like, imagine if you want to seek for employment in a facility, you have to showcase, okay, look at what I've done before now, and look at what I think I would do when I come to your facility. So that is the same thing when it comes to looking for studying abroad opportunities, getting scholarships, getting admissions abroad. You have to have something. So you need to understand that, okay, um, you have to gather experiences. It could be leadership, it could be some of the volunteering opportunities. Now, for me, as when I was as an undergraduate in my fourth year, I reached out to one of the professors in my program, one of the professors at the university, Department of Medicinal Chemistry, University of Nigeria, and I told her, Prof, I would like in my final year to do my project under you, and afterwards spend some time in your lab while I wait for my induction as well as my internship. And that was how I began. All throughout those periods, I was not even paid. It was when I eventually finished my undergraduate, did my project under her, then while we were all waiting, oh, okay, to look for internship opportunity, I started working in her lab. And it was then that she considered, okay, then maybe we can be giving you 10,000 naira to as a way to, support you for your transport, but it was mostly voluntary that I was doing. So you have to start from somewhere. You have to really, really begin from somewhere. It could be that, okay, you that have done with school, you're currently probably working. You can reach out to one of the professors that you like what they do. Sir, I'm very much interested in the things you do. How can I come in? How can I get involved, even as a part time? So with this, you can be able to have something, an evidence that you've been doing something, right? So the this either in line with research or in line with leadership or in line with volunteerism. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So one of the most important thing also, funding strategy. There are so many fundings out there. There are government scholarships. There are scholarships that are offered by university. Zimuzo, one of the speakers, happened to have had two of these. She was in government scholarship. Now she's in the university scholarship. Kingsley is on the university scholarship. So there are also certain NGOs that get scholarships. I think I can't remember specific ones, but some NGOs that you can get. The problem is most Nigerians are not qualified for such those kind of scholarships. But if you were from the US, you would easily have access to certain NGOs and foundations like Bill and Melinda Gates foundations, Pharma foundations that you can use to study. So, but most of you here would be targeting the government scholarships as well as the university scholarships. Now, these government scholarships are country sponsored, like the MOE Taiwan government scholarship, which I happen to have been a beneficiary of, is a government scholarship. And so you need to understand, okay, where I'm going to, what are the scholarships that are available there? Do you understand? What are the scholarships that are available there? In certain places, you would have both the government scholarship available and also the university scholarships available. So you just need to have a very good strategy on which one to go for. Now, the good thing about Taiwan that in my experience that I have always known is if you're applying to a university, you would be considered for a certain kind of scholarship. Most of the universities, not all. They will consider you for the certain university scholarships. Then, if you happen to apply for the government scholarships, which you can apply independent of the applications you're making to the university, if you get the government scholarship, that will supersede the university scholarship that you are probably being considered for. So some countries and some regions also have research funding, like the professors you want to work with, the professor you want to reach out to be able to work in their lab, to be able to work, because that's one thing that is very, very unique about studying abroad. You don't just boom, take your bag and you travel. You have to consider who are those people that you can possibly work with, even when you arrive in that country. So certain professors have fundings. Like when I was in Taiwan, despite being on the government scholarship, my professor also had certain funding, and I was getting an extra stipend from his lab because of his research funding and him funding my research. So you can also get that kind of scholarship. Some can give you a fully funded research funding in their lab. For instance, the PhD in the United States. I mean, at some point, I was under fellowship for the first 2 years. I mean, I got the Court scholarship and the fellowship for the first 2 years of my PhD here. But after that period, the funding for my PhD that I'm currently getting is directly from the research funding in my lab from the professor. And that's how most PhDs are actually work. That's why I said it's often for PhD routes. So now this is where this is going to play an important role is you emailing professors, telling them you're interested in the nature of their research that they do. It's called cold email. I've written also about cold email on my timeline on Facebook. You can look at it in details. So you email them, tell them about your interest in their research. By then you must have read about their research, and then propose something and or ask some, maybe request to join their lab, or request to be able to, for the possibility of joining their lab. And if they have funding, or the professor is interested in what you're actually suggesting, of course, they would, if they consider you for admission, your funding will come straight forward from the professor's research grants. So certain places also offer fee waivers and partial awards. Like I said, these things are just things that are also integrated into certain institution. And certain fundings are also meant for certain programs. So you need to have a very good funding strategy, because you cannot travel to study abroad and not have a way of survival. It could be the survival, also way of survival could also be that you have an opportunity to work and study, which is mostly available in Europe, like in the UK. People go there, they work, they study, they do part-time work. So these are things you need to really, really consider. But for someone like me, and for a lot of people that I've mentored, fully funded scholarship is usually the go-to for us. So when you have considered all these things, the destination, the funding type, the program, you need to apply smart. You need to be very smart, with your application. So now, how do you do that? One of the best ways to apply smart is to have an application tracker. What's an application tracker? It's like an Excel or a document that shows places that you are interested in applying to, and more like a checklist. So maybe you have the name of the university, the deadline that the university have, or the program have, or the program you're interested in applying, the scholarships that are available, the scholarships or funding that is available. So you keep this kind of check to be able to understand where you have to go to. Then it's a small step approach. You don't have to like do everything within one. Nobody can even do that. So you have to do one step at a time. You can be making contributions, if it's like dedicating like 3 hours in a day or dedicating like 6 hours in a week towards your application. If you can do that for a spread of like 3 months, you definitely come up with a very good documents to apply for scholarships. So it's important for you to understand it's not just about throwing applications out there. I was a victim of this. When I considered, okay, I want to apply to Asia, what I was just doing is just submitting applications to different countries in Asia. I wasn't looking at having a very strong application. I was just trying my luck until after a couple of times that I've gotten rejections that I understood my application is not strong enough. Sometimes also it's important to understand that if you get rejections when you've applied to places, it's not because you're not qualified. It could be because of the fact that what you want to do or your interest does not fully align with the interest of the program. Or it could be because the program does not have enough funding to take you in. So do not it's also something that's very important for you to know while you're on this journey of making applications. So when you get rejections, it doesn't always say that it's not always that you have weak rejections. So yeah, so weak applications, sorry. Okay, so this is the end to this roadmap. I'm definitely sure that with this breakdown, you'll probably figure out, okay, um, where to start if you don't know where to start. Then, if this has also created questions in you, you have lots of questions. Now you have lots of inquiries to make. We're here. So, right now we're going to proceed with the. Sorry, hold on. Uh, okay. All right. So now we are going to proceed with the experience session, after which the Q&A session is going to we'll open up rooms for the question and answer. And thereafter, that question and answer is going to be exhaustive. Please, there's no limitation. There's no wrong answer. I mean, there's no wrong question. There's no wrong inquiry. Whatever questions you have, please ask. It is better you get these questions clarified than for you to just, have it in your mind and not get answers to it. So please, uh, we'll commence with the experience sharing session. Thank you very much for paying attention to this. So yeah, can you guys see me?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
great.
can.
Okay, great. So all right. So thank you very much. I think there are a lot of questions on the chat or things that are okay. Responses have already been given. All right, I'm glad. I'm glad. So let's move forward to our experience sharing session. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to one of the participants. Is Oge Chuku here? From Oge. Um, is Zimozo, are you here? Hello. Is Zimozo here? Please, you can unmute
Maybe,
yourself. Zimozo, are you here?
yeah, sure, she's here.
Okay, she's here. Okay. Kingsley, you're here. Confidence is here. Chukwemeka is here. Gabriel is here. I think one of the participants from Oge is the person that is left to join. Um, let me try and reach out to him. But we will definitely start if he's not able to make it on time. Uh, it's okay. He said he was in the lab earlier. So Okay, so let's begin. So the way this session is going to work, for those of you participating, is I'll be asking these are our scholars questions, and they will be sharing their experiences. Please, as much as possible, I would want you to, be as much detailed as possible. Share your experience. Let us know what worked for you and what you would recommend for our participants. When you're asked this question. So first thing, please introduce yourself. The first time we are going to respond, you introduce yourself, and then um, okay, it's requesting for the link. Okay. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay. All right. So you introduce yourself and just give us a brief background, and then answer the question. I mean, that's like for the very first time that you'll be able to speak to us. So hopefully, let's see if Oge from Oge will join. All right. So um, yeah. So the first question I would like to ask to our speakers is, what was your first serious step that changed everything for you? This, please, this is not in any order. Anybody can, okay, OGHQ is requesting. Please, uh, yeah. So it's going to come in. Um, Famoge, are you here? Hello, Famoge. Famoge. I thought he has joined. Famoge, can you hear us? You can unmute and respond.
I can hear you. Can
Oh,
you hear me?
perfect. Yes, yes, I can hear, I can see you. Thank you very much for joining. So yeah,
Oh,
so we're currently in the experience sharing section, and just I had said some few minutes ago. So how we're going to do it is that I'll ask questions regarding I'll ask certain questions, regarding your journey, and at first you just introduce yourself and then answer the question. It could be any one of you that are here that can speak first. All you need to do is to just unmute yourself and then respond. Then I can also call upon anyone to respond first or after the other person. So the first question that I'm asking you guys as scholars is, what was your first serious step that changed everything for you? So Famoge, we can start from you. What was the first serious step that changed everything for you as a scholar while seeking for studying abroad and scholarship opportunity?
well, the first major process I would say was um, identifying a potential supervisor. Um, that was that. I think that is actually it's a very critical step that holds every other thing together, because once you're able to get a supervisor who is willing to accept you or host you, then I think most of the work is done. So for me, that was mine. I don't know about others, but that's for mine.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And his response is so accurate, and the reason is because he's responding based on someone who is studying in Japan. And like I said, under the MEX scholarship, one of the most important criteria is getting a supervisor, and that is why he just hit the nail on the head, because that is the most crucial thing and the first serious step that he was able to get then every other thing just follows suit. Thank you very much, Oge. Zimozor, please, can you unmute and share with us what was your first serious step that changed everything for you? Zimozor, please, are you there? Okay, in the absence of Zimuzor responding, Kingsley, please, can you share with us?
Okay. In my case, I think the step that changed everything for me was identifying the path I want to take in terms of the discipline. For instance, I studied pharmacy at the undergraduate level. And when I started applying newly, I did not have a clear direction. I would want to maybe apply for under pharmaceutics. I would define an interest as, oh, I'm interested in drug delivery. And then tomorrow I see my classmates get admissions in medicinal chemistry. And then I'm changing interest to apply to medicinal chemistry, thinking it's more funded and all that. But the moment I choose an interest and stayed in that interest and began working to build a profile around that interest, I think it made me a stronger applicant.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you can hear, so his first serious step was being able to define his interest, and immediately he was able to do that, everything followed suit. So I hope that this serves as a lesson to some of you, knowing that, like I mentioned when I was presenting the roadmap, you need to indicate your interest, the major path that you want to follow. So now we can move on to Confidence. Are you there? Please, can you share with us your first serious step that's changed everything for you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, for me, the first serious step I took, I don't know if I would say it is first because I think it's coming even before number one, and that was asking question. Because I remember I was at the children outpatient pharmacy when I spoke to a senior colleague who I asked, okay, I know I would want to further, but where can I get a fully funded scholarship? And the USA and all the countries started coming in, and then there was something specific about Asia, and that was when we started talking about Asia and how they have started thriving and seems to want to be at the same level as these other countries which we normally hear of. So that was when I now started going towards that direction and eventually got to hear about the Ignited Future Community, of which at that time, for me, I knew I wanted to do chemistry, but as you can remember, when we talked, you asked me the branch. I didn't know if it was organic, inorganic. I didn't even know anything. So for me, it was asking
Questions.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Asking questions, asking the right question. This led him to, this changed everything for him. Immediately he started asking questions. He began to understand what was going to work for him. Zimosdor, please, are you there now?
Yes, I am. I'm so sorry. I was hearing you earlier, but I couldn't unmute. I don't know why I couldn't unmute it at the moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. Please, yeah. So please, can you share your answer the question on the first serious step that changed everything for you?
Okay, the first serious step that changed everything for me was actually identifying what exactly I wanted to do. So with a background in pharmacy, I knew lab work wasn't my strongest point. I just didn't like it. So I knew I was going to go with anything that didn't involve lab work.
Yeah.
So it was at that point that I decided to go with public health. So I was applying for similar programs in the UK. I focused just on UK. until you told me about your movement to Taiwan and strongly
Yes.
encouraged me to apply. Yes. And that was when I just shifted my direction from the UK and focused on Taiwan.
Beautiful,
So
beautiful.
that was
So
it for me.
see, so my take home from what Zimozo shared right now is she already knew. Okay, me, I don't get strength to go they do lab work. I'm speaking this in pidgin because I'm definitely sure this is how she's going to reason. She's like, I don't get strength. Which strength I get? And she decided, you know what? What I want is I want to do something that does not involve me being in the lab. And she went for public health. And thereafter, everything followed suit. So I don't know if any one of you is getting inspiration from these their experiences, but this is very much amazing. Chukwemeka, your turn, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hello,
Good day.
Chukwemeka. Good
Yeah.
evening.
So my name is Wachia Chukwemeka, and for me, the first serious step was just like Kinsley said, was to identify my interest. What exactly do I want to do? What do I love to do? Master's, PhD is not maybe 1 year, 2 years. Like it's a long process. So what will you be able to do for a long time that you, even if you do it for 5 years, 10 years, you still enjoy doing it every time? So after I identified what I want to do, what I wanted to do, I knew that, okay, I wanted to do wet lab because back in pharmacy school, I always want to be in the lab and perform all the experiments in my group or the group I find myself.
Yes.
So then the next thing was to identify like people that have done this. There are people out there, any path you choose, any interest you choose, there are people that are out there that have done this particular or that are interested in this particular field and they are way above you. So you can connect with them, reach out to them. LinkedIn is one of the place that you see all these people. So you can reach out to people on LinkedIn, look at their profile. Okay, this person, he went from so and so, he went from pharmacy to biomedical sciences. Okay, what scholarship did he apply for? Which school? Where is he currently? How was his path throughout? So from there, you can get inspiration. You can also reach out to them, even if they don't respond. Just follow them and see how most time they post on their LinkedIn. See what they post and talk about. So this is the first serious step: connecting, identifying an interest, then looking for the right community. Yeah, on LinkedIn and other places too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that experience, connecting and figuring out what you want, then connecting with the right people, and then going for it is what actually worked for Chukwemeka. And I'm going to testify to this because Chukwemeka actually reached out to me. The first connection I made with him was on LinkedIn. He reached out to me after I participated in an event organized by a colleague of mine, and he reached out to me and we started talking. It was from December, and immediately we connected and we started talking. It wasn't even up to 7 months, Chukwemeka had already started getting offers. So connecting with the right people, because the right people are going to give you the right suggestion. The right people are going to give you the right recommendation based on their insight. It's something you can just consider. It's not must that you have to take it. Of course, you're very much free to make your decision. So thank you so much, Chukwemeka. Gabriel, please, as much as possible, during the question and answer, and also by our speakers, as much as you're not mandated, but as much as possible, when responding, please share. Let us see you. Let us see your beautiful face. Let us see your handsome face. So thank you very much. So, but remember, you're not mandated. We respect your privacy. If it's not something that is going to be working for you, that's okay. Gabriel, please, your turn, please. Can you share with us what your first serious step was? And, how did it change everything for you?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you. Yeah. Okay. Now I cannot hear you.
Okay. 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 Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My first step was discovering my realistic competitive pathway because I remember when I was doing my NYC, I've been doing applications. I already know the path I want, or the kind of program I want to study. I have interest in pharmacology. So I reached out to a colleague of mine who introduced me to the mentorship group. So initially, I wasn't interested in Asia, but the first time I joined a call that you made on a particular Sunday. So I had this interest in Taiwan, and I made my own personal research, and I discovered that it is a path that I can competitively go into, and maybe I have high potential of getting it, and use that pathway to build my
Beautiful.
profile. So I now took it. So that's
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Gabriel, for sharing. Um, Strategic pathway. That's my take from what Gabriel shared. Strategic pathway. He had to create a strategic pathway. Funny enough, what Gabriel shared is almost similar to mine as well. Yeah, I had to be very strategic on the pathway to follow. I'd always wanted, frankly speaking, I have to be honest, I've always wanted to do my study in the US or Australia. These were like my best two places to go to. So, but there and then I knew I didn't have what it takes to to get to the US for the master's program. So yeah, it became very strategic. Thank you, Gabriel, for sharing. So my next question to our speakers is, at the beginning, in this your journey, at the beginning, what exactly confused you the most and how did you solve it? We'll start with Kingsley. Please remember, introduce yourself. Most of you forgot to introduce yourself earlier. You know, your program, where you are, and stuff like that, so our speakers can understand the success that you've had and get inspired from it. So, yeah, introduce yourself, please. At the beginning, what exactly confused you the most, and how did you solve it? Let's start with from Kingsley.
Okay. I did not introduce myself before. My name is Kingsley Eze. I'm currently completing my master's in cancer biology and drug discovery in Taipei Medical University. So at the beginning, what my confusion was probably a lot of misinformation regarding scholarship or study abroad opportunities. So I could not initially have the right information because you read some blogs and you see this information, you talk to friends who are getting scholarship and you have this other information. So it was actually difficult knowing the right information and the right things I need to put in place to have a very strong application. And that is why communities is important, and not just community that has people who have walked this path and succeeded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when you find yourself in a community with success stories, you know that the information you're getting is information that have been tested and have come out successful. And then if you're taking that information, you know that, oh, this person is telling me the right thing. For instance,
Legit.
some people can tell you that you cannot get admission in any university if you don't have a first class, you know. So until you see someone who has a second class lower get fully funded PhD, you would never, so you will
you
not
not
know
believe
that,
it.
you will not even believe it, and you will not believe in yourself. You could be like, no, since I don't have this degree and all that. So there's a lot of misinformation, and everybody have their own story. But if you find yourself in a community of people who have walked this path and they are telling you what they did that worked for them, you'll be rest assured that you are doing the right thing.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing sharing, I mean, answering this question and using the opportunity to, teach us your experience on the confusions you had. This community, because the reason why this is true is because there are a lot of misinformation out there. People that so there are even people that believes you can never get a fully funded opportunity to study abroad, that you only have to pay. Some people believe that. So it's important that you get the right information. Thank you very much, Kingsley, for sharing. Please, Gabriel, please, can you tell us what exactly confused you the most at first when you started and how you were able to solve it?
Okay. Okay, at first, when I wanted to apply for my graduate studies, I was confused about what is the graduate committee
Am I the only one
or
not
admission
hearing you?
committee looking out for.
Okay.
Like, is it major? Am I do? Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yeah, we
now?
can hear. I can hear you now. I think you're having some network issues. Yeah, continue.
Oh, okay. Like I was kind of confused about what the admission committee is looking out for. So first of all, before I met you, I have been applying for PhD in the US and I was not getting it. And just like Fab Kinsley said, I noticed that some people with lower grades than I am are getting it. So I was like, I now figured out that it's not even about grades. It's about
Yeah,
for you to have the right profile for you to, that is attractive for them to like get you in. So when I came across the Taiwan
opportunity.
information, I was
Yes,
like, yeah, opportunity. So I was like, okay, even if I like, let's just say I want to study in US or Canada, maybe for my PhD or something. So I think coming to Taiwan is more like a good approach for me to build my research profile, so that I can be competitive
good.
enough for me to achieve that. So that was it.
Absolutely. Still on the strategy, building your profile so you can serve as a good competitor. I often say that as a Nigerian, if you're in Nigeria seeking for opportunities abroad, you're competing with the entire world. But as a Nigerian, if you eventually get yourself out of Nigeria, your competition somehow, it's you're still competing with the entire world, but I feel like there's this minimal competition on your end because now you're no longer having issues with have I ever traveled out of Nigeria because you're now studying abroad. So when people are considering, they feel, okay, this country has given this person an opportunity to be in that country. We can also do that. So yeah, very, very important. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, Pamoge, please, can you let us know what your initial confusion was at the beginning and how you were able to resolve it?
Okay. I didn't introduce myself the last time. So my name is Isi Ogugogu Chukwunayelugo, a final year mixed scholar at the Kanazawa University, Japan. I think I'll look at this from two perspectives. One is before getting the scholarship, and the other one is when you eventually start the program. So before getting the scholarship, what I found most confusing was being able to know how to draft, a catchy email. The success of the entire scholarship, depends on being able to capture the attention of
The
a
professors that
leading
will
researcher.
agree to, yes, to supervise
That
you.
that is the key. Um, I'll just give this as a sneak peek. As we are talking currently, I already have a postdoc position in Alexander Van Hobendorfer Fellowship,
Beautiful.
and it's the same technique. Okay, so you can have a first class, you can have good publications, but if you don't know how to construct an email that can capture the attention of the professor, forget it.
Yes,
Someone who doesn't have a first class is going to get the opportunity. So you have to realize that the person you are, trying to communicate with is quite busy and doesn't have all the time in the world to read an epistle.
true.
So you have to make sure that your email is concise, succinct, and each paragraph of your email should lead to the next one. Okay, so I can't go into details on how
Yes.
to structure the
How to
email
go about
because
it. Yeah.
yeah, but being able to unlock the key in knowing how to write an email is the game changer. If you're able to know how to draft an email, it changes everything. So even if you don't have a good CV, if you don't have a good portfolio, fine. If you're able to get the attention of the professor, everything is sorted out. But it's still imperative that you have a good CV, have a good research output, and
Definitely.
with the email, with the good email, the sky is just the starting point. So for me, I would say it's being able to learn the craft of drafting a good email, and then the other aspect I talk about is when you eventually get into the program. So for most of you guys that are trying to start from the masters, it's kind of easy because you don't have a field, you don't have a niche already. So you start with whatever that is available and you build on it. But for researchers like us that have been in a different niche and you probably get into a new field, the shock of trying to adapt to the new field is sometimes
Yes.
daunting, So you have a lot of catching up to do, a lot of studying, a lot of, so
Reading.
it's quite difficult, but you have to really put in the effort, especially if you find yourself in a field where you are trying to, acclimatize. So I think that is it for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, and congratulations on the postdoc role. We are very happy. I'm very happy for you. So, from
Thank
my
you.
take on Oge's share is that you need to be very. It's still all about strategy, but he's pointing out to he was at first confused on how best to reach out to the professors, but eventually when he succeeded, and which was after making several attempts, making several reviews of his email, he was able to eventually arrive at being the best of who he is in sending cold emails to professors. And that is one of the challenges he had and how he solved it. The other one was getting into a new field. When you eventually get this opportunity and you move into a new field, it's going to be very challenging, of course. But how then do you solve this problem? You go back to literature. He started reading more. He started trying to understand this new field. How do I get to be I'm already here. How do I get to be an expert in this new field that I've found myself? So that is one thing that I'm taking home, from what Oge shared with us on his confusion and how he was able to share, he was able to solve it. So I'm not going to this question. I'm going to skip it for some of the other speakers. But I'm going to ask because of time. So my next question is, what part of the process took longer than you expected, and how should beginners plan for it? From Chukwemeka, please, can you respond to us? A little introduction, then you respond to this question. What part of the process took longer than you expected, and how should beginners plan for it?
Okay. So my name is Mwachua Chukwemeka Augustine, and the 2025 MOE Taiwan Government Scholarship recipient. I'm currently in my first year of Masters in Biomedical Sciences here in China Medical University. So I want to say, hi also to Fam Oge was my lecturer back in school, and
He's still your lecturer.
Yeah, he's still my lecturer. So I'm honored to be in the same space with him. Okay,
Beautiful.
So pleasure.
Yeah. So what took time for me was
what part of the process took longer than you expected, and how should beginners plan for it?
Okay. So like I said earlier about networking. So I started the whole process of applying for things in my fourth year pharmacy school. So I started applying, like then I was applying for anything
Random.
applying. Yeah. So
Yes.
I think then I learned the techniques of crafting a good CV, writing SOPs and all. But the process that actually took long, in as much as I've spent time in maybe writing SOPs for different applications, was still the process of writing the SOP. Yeah, because before I could finalize, because I started the whole process of applying for graduate study immediately I did my induction. So that's post-induction, I started looking for school to apply for postgraduate studies. So what took time was writing a good SOP. And why was because my interest changed. I finished from pharmacy, and most of the experience I had in pharmacy school were basically clinical related, HIV related stuff. But I noticed that I cannot stay in that field because it's basically more field work, and I'm not saying that it's not good actually.
You're anti Zumozo.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not good.
You're anti Zumozo.
No. But I found it boring because at some point I feel it's going to be boring for me.
Yes.
So I wanted to move into wet lab proper. So the issue I had was tying my background experience into what I want to go into. So I had the issue of how will I craft my SOP in order to fit the wet lab setting. So, and I feel that was what made me not to secure an admission in the US, because I started applying for PhD in the US. So I felt because of my background, I was finding it difficult to tie my background and the program I'm trying to go for. So that was the issue I had. So I decided, in order to make up for this, in order to fill up for my background, I'll have to do a master's related to wet lab. That will help me proceed further, because I'm competing with a lot of persons. So that's why I re-strategized and changed my format.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing. So it's like the process that took longer for you was coming up with your statement of purpose because of the field interest change. So it was very difficult, but you solved this by making drafts and changing your strategy about getting more experience before you plan. So you didn't answer the question as how should beginners plan for this, for this process that will take longer.
Okay, so the process is to start on time, start early. If it's in terms of writing your SOP, you need a lot of time to write different drafts. Just like you mentioned in the presentation, you need a lot of time to write different drafts for SOPs, give a lot of people to review, give feedbacks, give comments. And also, even if you have not started, you can start now. There's no time that is too late.
Yes.
But the earlier, the better.
The better.
Look out
okay.
Other documents that you're lacking, and just start now. Now is the time to start.
All right, thank you very much. So thank you for sharing your view on this. Famzumozo, please, can you share with us? When you started, what part of the process was longer for you, more than you expected, and what was your advice for the beginners? How should they solve this problem?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name
Hi.
is Zimuzo. Even though my honorable mentor had already introduced me before, I don't know why he wants me to introduce
We
myself
want you to
again.
introduce yourself. Yes.
Okay, my name is Zimuzo Chikaliozo, a pharmacist from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And then I had a master's degree from Department of Global Health and Health Security, Taipei Medical University. And I'm currently a first-year PhD student in the same university. Okay, so to answer the question, I think the longest process for me was trying to know what exactly my requirements are, considering the requirements for each school, like what exactly I have to do, what I've done, what I still need to do. So initially, I had this issue of having a publication before making application to any school. So I didn't have a publication. Honestly, during my final year in the university, I did my project. It was tedious, but I still had to do it. I did it very well. But no publication came out of it. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know a publication had to be serious. Maybe you send it out to a journal. I initially thought that whatever I did, the hard binding and soft binding and whatever, the hard copy I did in school was enough publication. So it was when I started going through these processes and I realized that publications were far beyond that. You need to send to journals, and even most importantly, good journals if you want to make it count. So I
Yes.
didn't have that. I didn't know how to get it at that time, and I had to do what I had to do. And I knew many people who got it either had first class, or even if you don't have a first class, I graduated to a second class, by the way. But even if you don't have that first class, you have to have something in addition to
Mm-hmm.
whatever you graduated with, whether it was second class, whether it was second class upper, second class lower. You have to have something to attach to it. So I just kept thinking of what to do. It delayed me for some time though. I kept thinking of what to do to add to it. So I had to start taking some online courses to boost my CV. So that was the
Mm.
longest part. I took this online course from University of Washington, which took like I
Beautiful.
think it was 2 to 3 months. Yes. So that's the longest part. And then for the beginners, the I think just like Chukwemeka said, the best thing is to start now. The earlier, the better. No time is too
Yes.
late. Whenever you decide to start, just make sure you go hard at it. And then try to read the instructions very well. Each school or department you're very interested in, make sure you go through it. You go through everything they require, then match it and compare it with what you have at the moment. And then do
Mm.
your bid to start getting those things in process in case you don't have all of them in place. So thank
Amazing,
you.
amazing, amazing. In fact, I like the words to express how much knowledge is packed in this short statement made by Zimozo. She has made excellent, she has shared excellent response to this question, and I believe you all heard her. Some of the take home for me in particular was that it still boils down to the strategy because she saw that, okay, I don't have publications, and how then can I beef up my profile, my portfolio? Then she began to take some of these online courses, which was what she spent most of the time preparing for in order to have something. And immediately she did have that, boom, she kicked off with her applications, and here she is. So what it means at the end of the day, everything we keep saying here is all about you being strategic. And it also boils down to what they have been saying. The right time to start is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next tomorrow. It's not next week. It's not next year. It's now. So thank you very much for sharing your response to this question, Zimozo. Confidence, please, can you respond to this? Thank you very much. Uh, What's the process that took you longer than you expected, and how should beginners plan for it?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I didn't introduce myself the last time. So my name is Ejinwa Confidence. I'm currently here in Taiwan at China Medical University doing my master's at International Master's Program of Biomedical Sciences. Yes, under the fully funded scholarship of the Ministry of Education. So what really took long for me and how to go about it for beginners? For me, I think it's the application process proper. The application when it comes to
Mm,
now you've come to terms that this is what you do, this is what you want to do, this is the country you're going for, this is what you're going to study, and the scholarship is here, there's a deadline, and you've created an account. It's time to press OK and start applying. That took very long for me. I have to say this. I missed a deadline with National Taiwan University. That is because I thought I was ready, and at the end, I found out I wasn't ready. China Medical University, I applied on the last day. For Ministry of Education Taiwan Scholarship, I also applied on the last day.
And one lucky human being.
So this was because I felt this is just upload this, upload that, upload this, upload that. But then when we keep having our meetings here in this our family, Mr. Raphael keeps telling us, whenever you are applying, apply like you want to get it. And that has never left my mind. Whatever application you're going for, apply like you really want them to give it to you. Apply like there's something different from you, from other people that are applying. Yeah, so that took very, very long for me. So for people that would like to start applying for new timers, it still boils down to the time. It still boils down to early application. Start your essays now. Um, I know Mr. Kingsley is here. He knew how much I disturbed him. Like when it got to push going into shovel, and I had to keep telling him, please. He was the one that was proofreading most of the essays, because for me, I felt that okay, now I know this. Let me just upload and upload. And when I start hearing messages and stuff about rejections, it really started getting to me. Like, oh God, will I start taking time to, scan this, print out this, sign, send, and after everything, you get a rejection email. I started being more serious about the application. So I had to make sure someone proofreads whatever I'm going to send. And you can't do that if you don't have something reasonable. I can't send him rubbish to read. It will be somehow. I mean, he's a busy person.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then
Definitely.
I also had Chukwemeka, whom I'm sure he didn't know. I took in as my accountability mate.
Yes.
Okay, so at any time, I ask him how far, my chief, as we normally call each other. You apply to this one, you don't apply to this one. Omo, I no apply. Omo, I apply to this one. So the thing was just keeping me moving. When it feels like I was dulling or sleeping, when I ask him, he be like, he has done this one. I'm like, that's true. This one is remaining. This one is remaining autobiography. I'll start writing autobiography. Send to Mr. Kingsley. He'll tell me, he'll start laughing like he normally does. Oga, this is the way you want to tell them all about your family problem. Wait till it happen. I'll go back again. I'll go back again and start rephrasing and the rest of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I was very lucky to have applied on the last date for China Medical University and also for the Taiwan Ministry of Education scholarship and got it. But that's not a risk I would want anybody in this
You want to
platform to take.
take.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Thank you very much. This is I mean, he went ahead to share lots of things, that you guys would take would need to take seriously. But one thing I can say is with regards to applying early, don't take the kind of risk he took. He was lucky, but do not take the kind of risk he took. It's important to start on time, get all your documents in place, send, then submit. So thank you very much, Confidence, for sharing. Gabriel, please, can you briefly share with us the process that took you longer and how you were
Okay.
able to, and your recommendation for beginners?
Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't introduce myself earlier. Okay, my name is Ugwamba Gabriel Ikenna. Okay, I'm currently doing my master's in China Medical University, master's in translational medicine and new drug development. Okay, for the process that took me longer, personally, I'm very terrible at writing. I don't know. One of the challenges I had in graduate school application was motivation letter because I don't know, I didn't even know how to go about it initially. Most times when I write, I don't even know how to even tell my own story. I already know the stories myself, but trying to put it in a way that will make me like look passionate about what I'm applying for. It's one of the things that got me better. So at the time, I wanted to give up. But anytime I see, I I join your section, like I always keep track of the group. So I join your sessions and you say a lot of things. And I think by the time I entered the group, I was already doing some kind of Erasmus Mundus application. So I have already drafted some motivation letter for the applications, and which I reached out to so many people on LinkedIn who are also scholars, and they reviewed. So after the review, I sent it to so many people. So I was confident enough that my motivation letter are good, because that was what part of my challenge, as in the most challenge I had. So when I heard about Taiwan, I did my own research and I said apply. That was even the reason I did not send it to you, because there was no need. I've already reviewed so many people. So I
Yeah.
applied and I was hopeful that I would get. So I was even surprised when I got. And from the time we spoke, I was telling you that it was the real admission I've already gotten since I started this graduate school
Yes.
journey.
Application.
So
Yes.
so one of the strategies I used was I'll write my own story. I'll make sure that it's my story. But maybe the structure might not be what I want, but I use AI. I know you talked so many things about using AI. So I
Yes.
made sure I use AI intelligibly. Like I made sure that the story and the sound of whatever and the way it should be what I would want to say. So that was why even if I use AI, I always make sure I edit it thoroughly to make it sound like me, what I would say. So that was it. So that was how
Okay.
I solved the problem. Yeah.
Thank you. So, getting you to put down your motivation in writing was what took you longer. And part of the way
Okay.
you solved it was to put it the way you think you have it in your head, and then um, use artificial intelligence to refine it. So, yeah, that brings me to, I didn't say this at the introduction in the introduction. Please and please, this is exactly what I said earlier that probably Gabriel captured. When you're making graduate school application, don't think the people you're applying to are fools. Don't even think so. Don't think that they don't know. Don't think they are unaware. We are all aware. They are all aware. I did look into some applications, when some students were applying to my school this year for PhD, and it's just very devastating. Like you see the applications and you just know, okay, these guys, and most of them are like international students. They just use AI to like create everything. They know. So the best thing is write everything, express it the way you can. You by then you should know what it takes to write a motivation letter. You don't just wake up and say, okay, I'm writing a motivation letter without knowing what motivation letter is all about. You understand it, then you put it down in your own words, right from your heart. Then when you're done, there's nothing wrong with, especially for those whose English are not good. There's nothing wrong for you to use AI to like grammatically correct what you've written. But when it begins to change what you have said, when it begins to manufacture things, for instance, you've only had experiences, a 1 year experience, but AI is now trying to paint it look like you've had like 5 years experience. That is not very realistic. There's always going to be a cross match that will be made, and they know that, okay, this dude or this person is telling lies. So thank you very much, Gabriel, for sharing this your experience on responding to our question. So because of time, I will ask one more question, for that will be one more question. I still have so many other questions, but just because of our speakers who are very busy, I would like to, ask this for those who are still going to be here. In case any question arises from the participants, they can help to, while responding to those questions, they can help, maybe share more things that will serve as good information to them. But if you're very busy, which I know you are, and you're not able to stay for the question and answer session, please after this, you can, you can just we know you're very busy. You can go. So, but I want you to know that I, as a person, appreciate your presence here. And I know that a lot of participants have gained insights from what you have shared. And I know that what you have shared today is going to be somewhat a story that somebody here would use and say, it is because I heard from Pam Oge, because I heard what Zumuzo shared about this, because of what Chukwemeka said, because of confidence, because of Gabriel, I did this. And that is one thing that, for me, it gives me joy knowing the fact that one single sentence or one single recommendation, one single statement you made will help someone towards actualizing their dream. So, yeah. So my last question for you guys is, what resources helped you most, and what resources were a waste of time? I'll start with Zimozor. What resources helped you most, and what resources were just a waste of time? Because there are a lot of things out there that people keep talking about and posting.
Okay. I think this is a tough one. What resources helped me the most? Okay, I remember I was following some people on LinkedIn, people who usually talked about scholarship. So I followed a lot of them. So it's very important to also, because I feel like when you're using social media, you should make use of it in such a way that it will benefit you if you're very interested in it. So I followed a lot of them. So they gave me insights into what was important. About what was not important, what was useless to me, I can't really say that there are some resources that were useless to me, because apart from following those people on LinkedIn, I already had Raphael. So I wasn't all over the place. I was just strictly following either somebody indirectly or following someone directly. So I can't really say something or some resources were useless to me,
Useless.
generally
Okay.
speaking. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. What I take from what Zumuzo shared is that all resources were very useful. Even if they end up not being helpful, they were not useless. So, and that is one thing that I'm taking from her, what she shared with me. Um, so I'm going to be throwing up random questions to you guys. So, okay. From Oge, if a beginner here in this platform has 30 days to get serious, what are the top 3 actions you recommend in the order in order, please? Let's say somebody has like, okay, 30 days to be very serious. What are the top 3 things that in the scale of preference that you would recommend for them?
Okay. I would like to use the W's, where, and what. So you have to decide, where do you want to go to, where. Okay. Are you interested in the US? Are you interested in Australia? Are you interested in Asia? Okay. So if you decide where, then what do you do about it? What you have to be strategic about what you do, and you have to be realistic. Okay. Some places are quite competitive. You have to understand how these things work. It's not actually rocket science. Let me give a little explanation. Places like the US or the UK, these places are saturated. So um, you have probably a million people, a million candidates applying for probably just 100 scholarship opportunities. Okay, the chances of you being selected is very slim. Compare it to places like maybe Taiwan, where you have probably 1,000 candidates applying for 100 opportunities. now your chances of being selected is higher. So you have to be realistic. If you waste your time, trying to go to the US or the Canada, or you end up wasting your time. So, but if you understand how it works, that scholarships, they basically, make slots. It's apportioned. So there are certain number of, vacancies for people, and it's only people that apply that are eligible for that position. So even if a very outstanding student doesn't apply, you wouldn't get it. But if you're not the best qualified, but you're able to apply and you meet the criteria for selection, you'd get it. So if you identify where you want to go, you have to be strategic by being realistic and logical and understanding how the whole thing works. And once you're able to solve this, then you look at the other nitty-gritties, which is what are the requirements? Okay, what do I need to do? What documents do I need to have ready? Your SOPs, all the other documents, every other thing you need. So in other cases, there are certain scholarships that you make a general application, the school decides, then they shortlist, and you get an interview. Others, you may have to, contact a professor directly, and if the professor, responds and accepts you, you definitely get the scholarship. So depending on which that is applicable to you. For instance, what I used to get here was, direct recommendation from the professor. I didn't have to go through the,
School
general process.
application. Yes.
Yeah. So when you decide this, then it boils down to how do you write something good. If it's the general application, you're talking about your SOP. Okay, how do you prepare a good SOP? In this case now, how do you construct a good email, that would, buttress your strength and also show what you can offer. You have to also show what you can offer. It's not all about I want. What can you give? So once you're able to, make these people see what you can give, then the person is actually interested in working with you. So if you have 30 days, all I have to tell you is, one, decide where do you want to go? Then how do you do it? Okay, what are the requirements? Then you hurry up, and mentorship is very key. It's essential in this business. So you have Raf, okay, he's always there to mentor and guide you. You have other colleagues. You can also reach out to people that have done it. Okay, so it's actually important you have mentorship. You have people who can mentor you. Okay, so the role of these people is to guide you, give you insights, give you tips, explain certain things which you don't really understand. Okay, and they also help to provide certain opportunities in some cases. Okay, so I think I'll just end it here, and it's been a pleasure, talking with the panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Famoge. We are very happy, having you here, share your experience, and you know, everything you've been doing is, I mean, in terms of responding to questions here, have been very helpful, not just to the participants, even to me as a scholar myself. I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you very much. From Kingsley, I would like to ask you, what did your SOP emphasize that you believe made a real difference in your application?
Okay. I think if I look at my SOP from 2 years ago,
okay, now you
I
catch me up.
I know,
I feel the
I know,
same way. I feel the
I know
same way.
my SOP from 2 years ago was rubbish. So, but I think now there's a shift from the kind of SOP we used to write before to a new way now. Because in the past, we used to start, I used to start SOP with a say catchy introduction. So I would start with maybe a quote and a beautiful quote, and at the end of the day, I would say, "I want to cure cancer."
Ah.
As the motivation. But now I know that I cannot want to cure cancer, right? Because I
Why?
cannot cure cancer. I can only contribute to existing
The
knowledge.
cure
So
of cancer,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I think the best way to approach SOP is starting with a very good finding like a gap, starting with a research gap and showing that this gap has motivated you to undertake whether master's or PhD you want to undertake. So right now, if I want to write an SOP, I wouldn't start with my auntie died of malaria 2 years ago and I want to do master's because I want to cure malaria. No, rather I will maybe start with the current anti-malaria treatments have poor solubility or poor bioavailability, and I want to research about how to improve the efficacy of. So you find a gap in your very introduction. The first thing that they want to see is this is a gap in this area that you want to fill, and how this gap have motivated you to want to take on PhD or masters. And then
Mm.
from the next paragraph, you show about how your preparations in the past, how your education or your research have prepared you for this study. And then you show alignment, how this institution, how this school, how this program is the best for you to fill this research gap. And maybe you talk about, depending on the scholarship or the school, you talk about your voluntary activities, what you have done that makes you a good candidate, and then you end with your career goal. Maybe you want to do PhD after masters, or maybe you want to work in the industry. So for me, a good SOP shouldn't be more than 4 paragraphs. The first one, introduction with your interest and your motivation. The second one, your preparation, education and research. The third one should be your why the school, why the school. And then the last one, you tie everything together with your future goal. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing these tips on the statement of purpose and SOP. When he said not more than 4 paragraphs, he's not saying put everything in one page. By the way, depends on the program and their request. I know most, even if they do not say, most people have a restriction of just maximum of 2 pages. So the 4 paragraph is explaining is everything should come within these 2 pages in 4 paragraphs, just in case. But unless they specify and say, 3 pages, or they say you are restricted to 1 page. In fact, when I was applying for my PhD here, my personal statement was restricted to 500 words. And is it 500 words or 500 characters? I wrote 499. I did not know how to remove. I did not know how to. It was crazy. So it's very important. What Kingsley has shared is very, very important. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I think that SOP is a whole lot of another. It would take another day to like
SOP is a
explain what.
big yes.
But I just want to also add that it also depends on the country you want to apply. For instance, if you want to apply to Taiwan, please don't write more than 1 page is enough, because they try to run away from English. I didn't even know until now. So most times when you write very long essay, they will not even be able to read everything because English is not their language.
Hmm.
So
Well, I'm learning this for the first time actually. I'm Does this apply to you, Chukwemeka, Confidence, Gabriel? Does this thing apply to you guys? Zimuza? Because I'm just learning this for the first time.
People where they do lab meeting with their language, where they write research paper with their language.
He's actually
Well,
correct. They don't want to read so much. They don't want to read
okay,
too much. Yeah, they
okay.
don't want to read
Yeah.
too much.
I didn't know this, frankly speaking. That's why we're having this event. I never knew this. I'm very sure I didn't, while mentoring some of you, I didn't mention something like this because for me, I felt, because all the people I worked with in my lab, I mean, they all understood English. They've all written, and their publications is in English. So I didn't know this was a factor. But, we get updates every day, and these guys are there. So please take their words for it. They are there. I'm no longer in Taiwan. I've not been in Taiwan since 2023. But they are currently there and they have first-hand information on how things are going. So just in case you're considering Taiwan, please take their information seriously. Okay, thank you very much. So I want to ask Confidence, how did you approach recommenders? Who did you choose and why? And what did you ask them to emphasize? How did you approach those who gave you recommendation? Because this is one of the most difficult aspects of graduate school, especially for those who have left school for a while.
Okay, for me, it was quite easy because I was kind of close to a lot of my teachers back in school. Yeah,
Okay.
starting from uh, little courtesies of seeing them on the road and helping them with their bags and the rest of them, or greeting them and bowing down. And they just sometimes, if they are in a good mood, I remember most of them, if they're in a good mood, they just honk, pam pam, and go. Sometimes you just feel like a stupid person. They just look at you, ignore you, and go where they are going to. Okay, so when it was time before I left, I studied at the University of Uyo. So before I left Uyo to Lagos, where I was working before leaving Nigeria, I made sure I was in good terms with them. Sometimes I come around to say hi, greet them, and the rest of them. Then, one of the easiest person to get to give me a recommendation was my supervisor, my undergraduate supervisor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, was my undergraduate supervisor. So then I took note of his birthday and his church. Sometimes he do invite us that he's having a special this and a special that. And you just go around to familiarize and the rest of them. So when you
Mm.
keep getting close to these people, they are researchers also, they are teachers. One thing will lead to one thing. They will ask you these questions. And my own is that he's a funny person. He'll be like, so you're going to get married after NYSC. And then we start laughing. And then we start laughing.
Okay.
I tell him, no, sir, no. I like to do this, I like to do that. So how do you want to do this? Or where do you want to go and stuff? So with that kind of discussion, there's a kind of bond it forms. There's a kind
Mm.
of bond that is not being spoken of. It forms. Being able to reach out to them or even react to their posts and say hello or once in a while in the WhatsApp and the rest of them.
Yeah.
One of them also was very, very religious person. So sometimes there was a time I had a little issue that I needed some words of encouragement. I had to meet with her and she prayed for me and tell me my son this, my son that. So with that,
Yeah.
I built rather this bond with them. So when it was time, I just reached out to them and told them this is what I would like to do or this is what I'm applying for, and they need some recommendation letters. And okay, they said okay. With the kind of the respect I have for them, and the way they are, to say it like that, the way they are, they didn't ask me what do you want me to write, they just said okay, and that's all, and they sent in the recommendation. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you
for
very
me, I
much.
think the relationship I had with them, even after school,
After
it really
school.
helped.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So now what I'm taking, the lesson from confidence experience that I'm taking is that he was intentional. Now, it's not like he just left it there. He was intentional in building these links with his previous those who taught him back in school. So it's not just that he was just there and allowing things to flow. No, he was intentional in building this connection. He was intentional in reaching out to some of them in certain different situations. Now, this is something that we need to understand, that we are the ones that need them. So we need them. Therefore, we have to put ourselves in the best position to get what we need from them when the time is right. And the only way to do that is to continue having that linkage. So it's important, please, that you keep contact with those who you see as your potential recommenders. If you don't, begin now to build it. It's not late. You only need to start. So thank you very much. I think the one last question in this experience sharing session for Chukwemeka is, what is one thing you wish someone told you before you started? Just in a very simple answer. What is one thing you wish someone had told you before you began? You're muted.
Okay, so one thing I wish someone told me before I started, which I later discovered by myself, was do not put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because
Beautiful.
if you go online, if you go on LinkedIn, you will see testimonies of people getting scholarship or positions, PhD positions in the US. I think it was more then, like I got a direct PhD in the US from bachelor's and all. So for me, I said, okay, yeah, it's possible. It's actually possible. But the mistake I made earlier, which I readjusted later, was applying solely to the US and also applying for just master's program. And also another thing I wish somebody told me was to differentiate between funding bodies, because then I thought it was only the university that's responsible for this funding. I don't know that you can get funding from other bodies like MOE, Chevening, and others.
Yes.
So I wish I had someone tell me this thing, that, okay, it's not always as it is. You might have a first class, you might 4.9, 5.0, but you're competing with a lot of persons. So I know I could remember then, Kingsley would always say, don't apply to one place, apply to multiple. Even Van Raphael also said that, don't apply to one place, apply to multiple places. You just need only 1 year, right?
Yeah,
so
only 1 year.
Spread your tentacles.
I was the one that told you to apply to CMU. You did not want
Exactly.
to apply.
It was Kingsley that told me to apply to CMU, because then I was like, okay, I'm going to follow
CMU.
Van
You say you want
Raphael's.
to just go to Taipei Medical.
Yeah. I wanted to follow Van Raphael's footsteps, go to Taipei Medical and all. But it's very important you spread your tentacles, because the whole process, the whole admission process is a number game. Yeah. Not that you're not qualified, but they might just need one person and there's somebody more qualified than you are. And
yes,
number might not be there to favor you. So just try and spread your tentacles. You can apply to the US, apply to Asia. One place would favor you eventually. So yeah.
definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that we have been able to, I think we've been able to cover a lot of things through these questions and through these events that we've been doing for the past 2 hours now. And for those of you who are still here, paying attention, jotting, taking notes, and asking questions in the comment section, in the chat, I mean, I'm very I'm happy you're doing that. So this is the end of the experience session with our speakers. Now is the platform for you to ask questions. please, what do you do? If it's either you put the questions in the chat if you can, but if you want to express yourself, maybe it's not easy for you to type, or mute yourself. I mean, first of all, I think there's a place where you indicate, you raise your hand. I think let me look for, I think there's a place where you raise your hand or something like that. I can't find it. Yeah. So it's either you raise your hands or you unmute yourself, then you ask your question. We are all here. Some of us are here. Okay, yeah. See, Chukwemeka raised his hand now. I am very sure you guys can see it. Maybe I cannot raise my hand because
in the react.
Okay, in the react. So you go to react. Yeah, play chimes or this thing. Is my hands up now? No. I guess. Yeah, maybe because I'm the host, so maybe that's why I cannot raise my hand. So, okay. So please, you raise your hands or you just unmute yourself, then ask your questions. We'll be here to answer your questions. Please, some of the speakers, if your time is very stringent and you want to go, just know that we appreciate everything you've done for us today. I'm very happy that you were here to share your experience with us. I'm very happy that you've been able to inspire lots of people, through your story. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. So, yes, question and answer. Who is the first person? Who is raising their hands? Who is going to ask? We're here. So this question and answer section is going to last for 30 minutes maximum. 30 minutes maximum, maybe maximum 40 minutes. So you're free to ask questions. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you, and anyone can answer. Thank you very much.
I think there's a question in the chat from Joy Francis.
Okay.
She said, "Hello, I'm Joy Francis from Nigeria and based in Lagos. I am a sophomore student of the University of Lagos. I am a chemistry major. This year, I'm looking forward to fully funded short study."
What does the person mean by fully funded short study?
Maybe internships.
Masters?
No, it said short study experience. Okay, she's raising her hand.
Okay.
She can just
Joy Francis? Yeah. Please, we encourage you to unmute and share your video and speak to us. We're all humans like you. Nobody is biting anybody. Yeah, but remember, we respect your privacy. If it's not something you want to do, it's okay. All right. Joy Francis, can you unmute yourself and speak? Joy Francis, your hands are raised up. Your hand is raised up. So can you unmute? Well, in the absence of that, I think Eziwanne should go ahead. Eziwanne, please unmute and ask your question. We would also like to see your face.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arafe. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm in the kitchen, so I wouldn't like to show my face, please. Can you hear me?
It's absolutely fine. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, like you already know, my name is Eziwanne Gloria Obioha. So I have a BSc in Applied Microbiology from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and I have an MSc in Public Health. I majored in epidemiology from the University of Lagos. Now, I've restricted myself to UK, US, and Canada all along. I never knew about this Asian alternative until today. I've picked interest in this Taiwan, and I practically don't know how to go about it. Another challenge I have is I have a family, a husband, and 3 children. What are our options? I want to move with them. I don't want a situation where I'll move alone and leave my family behind. No, I want to move with my family. What are the options for job for my husband? What are the options for general survival, school for my children? I mean, in Taiwan. Okay, if someone can enlighten me, I'm already seeing that I'm going to succeed if I try. that's the mindset I already have, that if I try this Taiwan, I'm going to succeed. I have a publication as well in public health field. So I need a little push and mentorship and guidance, how to go about it. And again, how is life generally in Taiwan for me and my family if I succeed in moving? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. I think I'll leave this question for those who are currently residing in Taiwan to, you have friends, you know people, so please, someone should respond to our question.
Okay. Hello, Eziwane. Okay, I don't know about coming with your family ab initio, because when they will process your visa, they will process only yours. They won't allow you add any dependents when they will process it, assuming you get admission. So you would have to come first, and then you wait for your family, and then you have to stay for some time. Even if you come first, you would have to wait for at least 6 months to be able to apply and get your family in. And then you also have to prepare a financial statement. So while you're here waiting for them or waiting to come with them, you also have to build your finances, because you can't just say they want to come. You have to have some amount of money in your account to be able to bring. And then you have 3 children. That's also a factor you have to consider, because the more the dependents you're bringing, the more the amount of money you would need to have in your account. So it's something that you would have to be very patient about. You have a conversation with your husband about it, and then know your options. Then concerning schools for your children, there are schools here that are willing to take your children. I don't know the age ranges of your children, but for elementary school here, for, for elementary school here, don't mind me. For elementary school here, your child must be at least 6 years old to start elementary school. If your child is 5.5, they won't allow the child start. If your child is 5 years and 11 months, they won't allow the child. The child must clock 6 years before the child can start. And that's for a general elementary school. And then it has to be bilingual. Bilingual schools are cheaper. So if you want to take them to an international school, you have to pay through your nose. And then for your husband, there's always something to do. That's just what I can tell you. He would always find something. There are a lot of Igbo men here doing business. He can mingle with them. Just the most important thing is he shouldn't isolate himself when he comes. So there are options for you. That's much I can say.
Am I allowed to speak now?
Yeah. If you
Yes.
need a follow-up on your question, please continue.
No, just to appreciate her. I said thank you.
Okay,
no problem.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Zimuzo. This is, I can say this is one of the most exhaustive response to this question. So thank you very much for your response, Zimuzo. I really appreciate that. So yeah, let's go back to Joy Francis. Joy Francis, we couldn't hear you earlier. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. If possible, you can share your video. Let's see your face. And yeah.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I will go on. So just like the way I did text my question, I mean, I'm a sophomore student at the University of Lagos, and I must say I feel a little bit intimidated being among most people that have actually graduated and those that have done their masters. And I'm like, maybe I'm just too tense or I'm just, too fast. But it's because I've actually been in this journey even long before I got into school here in Nigeria. Something I've always wanted to do. And if you can remember, I was in one of your meetings probably a year ago or 2 years ago. But I know I was in one, and this is my second time I'm in this space, which is your space, the one you organize this one. So, what I want to ask is that for somebody like me that wants I want the experience, study experience that short ones. It can be a fully funded internship program, a summer program, or any type of study experience that helps or takes undergraduate students, gives them a short global education experience, and they will go back, because I'm not of this mindset of going to hang there. No, I'm still an undergraduate student. I just want to gather all of this experience. For instance, I did apply for a program last year. It's supposed to be in France. It's a summer program, but unlike, for the funding aspect, I have to pay. So no matter how cheap it is, you still know it's something when you do the exchange. But I do know that there are programs that are fully funded. I might not be qualified for some, and I might be qualified for some. But at this level where I mean, we are still studying, I mean, as a student, a second year student, I just believe there should be programs I can apply for, maybe 2 weeks or 1 month. Then I can go and, gain something. I can attend, I can participate. And when I'm done, I'll be back. I might get a recognition for it. But at the end of the day, it helps my certificates, my
Portfolio.
resume when I'm
Yes.
done. Yeah, because I will still go out later on. But starting early, I think, is a good thing if you get the opportunity. And I'm actually very passionate about it to learn. I'm actually
Yeah.
a chemistry major at University of Lagos. So yeah, that's my question.
Okay. I sense your passion from your voice, and I sense the passion from every effort you've been making. I mean, frankly speaking, I have to be honest, I couldn't remember, but I'm glad you've been part of us, from time to time. So now, yes, you're correct. There are opportunities out there for undergraduate students to partake and build their portfolio. But just like you have realized, most of these opportunities, they demand funding from your end. There are a lot of internship, like summer event. I mean, there are a lot of summer internships for undergraduates here in the United States, but they are only for most of their citizens. And there are other events such as conferences you could attend. But these conferences, some of them sponsor for flights, but they are rare. And some of them you could get the to attend, you can get the opportunity to attend, but you need to pay your flight ticket. So it's usually very, very difficult, not impossible, difficult. But at the end of the day, what I would just say is that you, I will advise you to continue with this passion. But most of all, I want you to take advantage of the environment you currently find yourself. Those events that are done in your school, those seminars, those conferences, those events that are done in other schools in Nigeria, these are things you need to take very seriously. I know that things may not be the way you want it, for some of these things, in Nigeria, but they will still count as part of something that will build your portfolio. I don't know if this makes sense. So, because when your hand cannot reach your head, at least your hand can reach your mouth. And you have to take advantage of where your hand can reach. But you will still continue making effort until your hand can reach to your head. So if this makes sense to you, this is my recommendation. I don't know if any other speaker, have something to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Lou.
think also in Taiwan there are internship programs for undergraduate students. It's called
There is,
Taiwan
yes.
Experience Exchange Program,
Okay.
TEEP. So you can check that out online, TEEP, and there's also IIPP, something like that. So you can check that it's funded internship for either 3 months or 6 months. But I think for one, you have to take care of your flight ticket. For the other, I think
So that's it.
they fly you in. Also, in this kind of thing, also you can also make use of your phone, make use of Google. So you just check fully funded plus internship plus chemistry plus any country you are interested in, and just search. Also, you can take opportunities in Nigeria too. For instance, I know that there's this is it NIPRID? Yes, NIPRID. Some people go to internship in national NIPRID. I think is for mystical research and development. So you can also check other government-funded labs, even if the research is not what you want. You can just take opportunities in labs in Nigeria and get this experience, so that when you're ready and you're applying and you have this experience, if you're writing your SOP, you're not going to write it as if it is a research done in Nigeria. You're going to like write it in a way that it amplifies your experience and makes you stand out. So that's what I have to add to that. So just search and also take opportunities in Nigeria.
I think you're muted.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, my AirPod just the battery just went empty. So yeah, so thank you very much, Kingsley, for your contribution to this question. I hope this makes sense to you, Joy Francis, and I please keep. I don't know if you're on the Ignited Future community platform. The problem I have with members there is that they are inactive. They are not trying to engage. They are having this confusion, but they don't want to ask questions. If you're on the platform, please keep in touch, keep asking questions, and let's see how we can guide you. Okay. So all right. So the okay. Is one name before we come back to you, Jonah Obu, can you unmute yourself? Okay, no, let's take one question from the comments from the chat. Kingsley, please, can we look into one of the questions?
Let me read this one about MOE.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. The documents to submit at the embassy for MOE must be authenticated. Okay, I think that's the question. Must the document be authenticated? And secondly, can I go for legalization and submit my application at the same time? Thirdly, can I legalize just my transcripts and degree results, then do the remaining later?
Well, you're in the best capacity to answer.
Okay,
So,
let me take the first question. The documents to be submitted to the embassy for MOE must not be authenticated. So you can submit the document just as it is. So when you need to do your authentication is when you're applying for your visa. That's when you do the whole authentication and legalization at the state office. Then can I legalize my transcript and degree results, then do the remaining later? Yeah, but for a complete package of your visa application, you have to do all the necessary documents. You have to legalize all the necessary documents for your visa to be processed. And also you can do legalization and visa application the same time. Can I go for legalization and submit my application? Can I go for legalization and submit my application at the same time? Yes, but I feel you should do legalization when you've gotten an offer and when you're sure you've gotten an offer and it's time to go for your visa. Yeah.
okay. So thank you for responding to that question. So the next person, I think someone was raising their hands. Or where is I think somebody else was raising their hand before.
Good, Jonah.
Okay, yeah, Jonah. Is that the person that asked the question?
No.
Okay. Then let's go to Cross. Cross, is it Cross Raphael? Please lower your hand, then go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Cross.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you. Yeah.
So good evening and thank you for the opportunity. I feel like the meeting as a whole has been somewhat exhaustive of maybe most questions directly concerned with the process, but I want to divert a little, please.
Okay.
The other lady that was asking about for her family, the financial statement. I want to ask, so if you want to go alone, do you still need that financial statement or statement of finance? That is what I want to ask. Can I ask a lot of questions, then we can go through the answers? Or is it one by one? I don't know. I have just one or two things I wrote
I
down to
think
ask.
just ask so that we'll see how to attend.
Okay. Then, other than the financial statement stuff, I want to know, can we get the recording of this meeting and where can we get it after everything, after the meeting? Then, if you are able to get the scholarship fully funded and all that, how do you survive in the place? Do you have to work, or do you have, if let's say someone that is not from a very like well-to-do background, like will you find work there, or how will you survive apart from the academic setting? That's a master's or PhD you're doing. Like how else will you like survive day to day? Then I want to ask about like the general platform, because I just got to know about this meeting from a WhatsApp group shared on my class. I'm a pharmacist as well. I'm doing my internship in a way right now. So I want to know the general platform for these gatherings. Where can I get it? Thank you.
Let me just, before you guys respond to other questions, let me just respond to now. I have the YouTube link to our channel posted in the chat. You can visit and subscribe, like. We've done other events before that we've done like specific event for studying in Taiwan. So that you can get to watch and, like I said, try to like, subscribe, or anything you guys do, support us. Then joining the Ignited Future platform, the link is also there for you to join our WhatsApp group. You can request. I will have to go through the request later words and then approve. But one warning is that if you're inactive on the platform, you'll get removed. And there's nobody's kind of nobody has anything against you. We just don't like people being dormant or just being there in the name of I'm on the platform. We don't do that. And so if you're joining the platform, you're joining because you're very motivated, and you're joining because you want to get extremely serious with your application. Yeah, so before others continue, why are you using Balthazar? I mean, are you the Balthazar? I thought you should be in prison.
No, I had the name before that whole fiasco, so it's just a coincidence.
Okay, just chipping in this because I saw Balthazar. I'm like, have we now had Balthazar? And I apply. He should be in prison. So, all right, you guys can please respond to his other questions before we move forward.
I think about finance statements. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so about finance statements, everybody needs finance statements. So whether family or no family, once you're going to travel to a new country, you need a financial statement to show that you can survive. And then regarding how you're going to survive, I don't know what you mean by how you're going to survive. If we say you have a scholarship, it means you're going to have a stipend, right? So most times in the scholarship offers, there are two types. Like in my school, there are two types. There's type C, which is just your tuition. And there's type B, which is tuition and stipend, monthly stipend. So depending on the one you got. So if you get type B, it means you're being paid monthly, a little amount, which is enough for your survival. Yeah, so depending on you too, you can also do part-time job to earn more if what you're earning is not enough. So that's how you're going to survive. But I would also warn that if you're coming to Taiwan, you should have a plan. Like you should have a plan at the back of your mind. You should know that, okay, this is why I'm going to come to Taiwan. Like for me, I came to Taiwan to gain research experience and move to a different country. Some other people come to Taiwan to stay back in Taiwan. So it depends on you. So if you know the plan you have, you are going to work with the plan and see if this destination is the best destination for you. Right? So that's it. You can't just come because everybody is coming. So you have to have a plan that, oh, I'll be in so country for so years, then I'll go to so. That is what is going to shape what you mean by survival. In case your question is about survival, is if you're going to be making 5 million every month. I don't know if that is what your survival is all about. So you need to like have a concrete plan and work with that your plan. Yeah. But if it is surviving beyond, if it is basic survival, you're definitely going to survive and earn a little bit and also get your research experience here.
Okay. Yeah. Did he answer your question, Raphael?
Yes, that is only then the recordings. Where can we get the recordings of the meeting?
I just mentioned about the YouTube channel. I thought
Okay,
I
on the
just said
YouTube.
something. I've also written something on the chat section. This event will be made available, but I don't know when, but we're very busy. But it will be made available on our YouTube channel. And I'm
Yeah.
encouraging you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the only way you can support us. Even on the platform, when you join our mentorship platform, nobody's asking you for money. We've been doing this for years now. So most of the speakers you heard from are beneficiaries of this platform in one way or another. So the only thing we can gain from you guys is just supporting our channels or following us on our social media, and yeah, that's just it. But it's on it's on the chat section.
Okay, thank you,
Let
sir.
me read this question before the next person
Okay.
raising hand.
All right.
It says, as a pharmacist with doctorate degree from University of Nigeria, I think what the person means is PharmD.
It's okay, I understand.
Yeah. Do I need to go for master's or go for PhD directly? Secondly, is it advisable to apply while I've not done internship?
Okay, well, I don't want to go into the details of the whole FAMD, no FAMD. I don't have that strength with you guys. But you are a pharmacist. To me, that is the most important thing. You're a pharmacist and you've graduated, you've done your undergraduate. This doesn't make you a doctorate degree holder. It just means that you're a more professional pharmacist. And I know you have that understanding. So, yes, you can decide to go for it. If you join this event from the onset, you can decide to go for a master's degree. You can decide to go for a PhD. But at the end of the day, we are talking about you being very strategic about what you want. Okay? If you think your portfolio, your profile, your CV can go for a PhD and you think you can be a good competitor, just like every speaker have been sharing, if you think you can compete well, then you can go directly for a PhD and you know what you want to do. But if you think you need more research to get more research background or learn more about research or be very good in the field that you're developing interest in, then a master's degree should be the first option. Then I think the other question is what's the other one again? Kisley, you're muted.
If she can go without without finishing her
Yeah,
internship.
so yeah, see, nobody cares. Unless maybe you want to go into like pharmacy practice, like going to somewhere like in Canada for pharmacy practice. Of course, you need to have your license. And I know in Nigeria right now, you need to do your internship, then you do NYSC, then you write the PEP, then you get your license. So that license, somehow, if you want to practice in another country, and you're presenting yourself as a pharmacist, you probably need to start from what you already have. So that's the only, but if it is for you going into academia, like most of us are, like for instance, I don't even remember I'm a pharmacist. I don't even know what it means to practice pharmacy, frankly speaking. I'm being honest. So you I mean medicinal chemistry, and that's probably that area is probably what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Except tomorrow I decide, okay, as a pharmacist, let me just, even if I open up a pharmacy, I have to employ a more better pharmacist because I'm no longer that better pharmacist. So what am I saying in essence? If you think studying abroad is something you want to go for directly, and you don't need to do internship, you don't need to do NYSC, you don't need to do all those bunch of things. But doing your internship somehow would also give you an experience. Remember, we are all talking about experiences here, but it also depends on where you did your internship. I did my internship with the University of Nigeria. I did my internship in the academia. You can decide to do your internship in the industry. You're still tailoring yourself towards the goal of studying abroad, because this will be an added advantage towards your experience. So I would encourage you to do your internship, but I want you to do your internship in the right place. I know everybody is like, I want to do internship in a hospital, so I'll earn more money. Is it about the money or is it about the strategy that you have? So you have to plan yourself properly. While some of my colleagues back then were doing internship in bigger hospitals and all that, I was back in UNN doing my internship, and I don't even know what to say. So, well, the experience alone, spending time in the academia, really helped me. So that's what I can respond. So, everyone, yeah, please go on with your question. Your hands have been raised since. So we'll look into another question from the chat after is one day.
Okay, thank you once again. Please, my question now is, assuming I'm working towards Taiwan for next year,
Yes.
when does the application window open? Like I know the US, the application window usually open around August, September. For
Beautiful.
Taiwan, when will it open? Again, like I want to be vulnerable now. Like someone said, like his plan is to go to Taiwan and get research experience and not to live there. Likewise, me. Do you advise me to go for, I already have a master's. Do you advise me to go for another master's in another area? I have interest in social work or mental health epidemiology. Do you advise me to go for another master's or to go straight for PhD? I don't intend to stay long in Taiwan, to be honest. So that's basically my question. And when the application opens, and which route should I focus on? A second master's or a PhD? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Iswande. Those are very beautiful questions. First of all, before responding to your question, I want you to understand that it was also part of my strategy. Now, that doesn't take away the fact that Taiwan is a beautiful place. I just want to say this. Taiwan is so beautiful. Taiwan is so peaceful, more peaceful than where I am right now. Taiwan is a place that I mean, it's a place like I feel like if you just want peace, everybody respects each other, people are honest to the best of my knowledge, people mind their businesses. Taiwan is a very beautiful place. Taiwan is a place where I think raising a family would be a wonderful thing. But yes, every place has their own thing, that is ongoing. So yeah, I just wanted to state that outright. So it's all about strategy. For me, I knew what I wanted to do. I may not be able to obtain it in Taiwan, especially with regards to the area of research interest that I'm, tailoring and my future prospect for work. So that was why I had everything it takes to continue my PhD in Taiwan. But because of this, and again, as at then too, there was some kind of things were not as much fluid as they are right now back when I was in Taiwan when it comes to family and all that. So it also served as something that made me to take my decisions the way I did. So going to your questions, most applications in Taiwan opens up in August, late August, but most times around September, October, applications are so many places are opening. But now remember, I've not been in Taiwan for a very long time. I know those guys who are there will currently tell you more. Zimozo is in her first year PhD. She can tell when some of the applications opened, and yeah, so a couple of them. Confidence and Chukwemeka arrived last year, so they will respond. Probably they will respond to that if what I'm saying is not tallying very well. But I know from late August and above, yeah. But the MOE scholarship usually open because the MOE scholarship is independent of the institution application. So you can submit an application in December, but MOE might not have been open by then. But you need to submit an application to universities before you apply for MOE. That's how it works. It's independent application. So MOE application opens up most times in January of each year, either early or late January, or I can't really say, but sometimes they also delay. So, but that's how MOE works. Yeah, I think I've responded. Which other question again did you ask?
About
I asked whether it's okay to do another master's or to
Okay,
masters
yeah.
or
stay
So,
PhD.
yeah, doing another master's. Remember, it's all about strategy. What works for you? You're okay. If you think doing another master's, but you need to have a very, very clear motivation on why you want to do another master's. Because if you put in your CV that you have a master's degree, you have to prove to, okay, why do I need another master's? So it's all about your motivation, your plan. That will determine if doing another master's is okay or not. But if you want to go for a PhD, still up to you. So that's my response. So others can contribute.
I think all these things is up to you. It's up to you
Yes.
what you want to do, whether PhD or master. If you do PhD and you don't want to stay in Taiwan, after PhD, you look for postdoc outside Taiwan, or you use your PhD and find something else outside Taiwan. If it is masters you want to do, there's also remember, there's no guarantee that even after your masters you leave Taiwan. And I'm very sure if you are here, you are not going back to Nigeria. So it all depends on your plan. The reason
Yes,
I don't want to stay in Taiwan might not be the reason you don't want to stay in Taiwan.
exactly.
Okay, the reason I don't want to stay in Taiwan is because I want to marry a nurse, and the nurse will not use her license to practice in Taiwan. So I need to go where she can practice
See?
when I go with her. So that is my own reason. It's a personal reason. I don't know what your reason is. So I'm not discouraging anybody that wants to come. It's this
Yeah.
is this is 12:46. I am still in school and I'm going to walk home. And I'm sure that nobody is going to stop me on the road. Nobody is going to bring
Very
out any
peaceful.
gun or anything.
Mm.
And I am here, I'm not working. The only work I do is my lab. Just come to lab. And I'm living relatively okay. I'm also taking my bills. So I don't know what your reasons for just saying you don't want to stay in Taiwan. I don't know what your reasons are, but all these things are personal, right? They
True.
are personal. So it's for you to sit down and look at what your plans are, and then see if coming to Taiwan at all is part of the plans. And then if it is part of the plan, you can come and then see what comes out of it. So regarding when they apply, there are two semesters, spring and fall. So I think fall application is on now for most school. Fall 2026 is on for most school. And I think spring will open around July or August, I don't know, for most schools here. But if it is what you want to explore, you can just keep up, check on Google, and then keep checking. You
Yeah.
definitely get in. So
Just make a list of the schools you want to apply to, look at their deadlines.
yeah,
There's lots of resources out there just by Googling. And most schools will always have handbook provided for every year that they have intake. So there you can look into the programs they have. It's also very important that you look into programs that are offered in English and provide programs that may not be offered in English. So yeah, but most graduate school programs are offered in English in Taiwan. All right, thank you very much. So Kingsley, is there any question from the chat?
This one says, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Uzamaka, medical science graduate. Can you please pick up an available fully funded, why am I not saying this very well? An available fully funded scholarship. And also maybe talk about the process. Then also if it is
Please,
possible, share links.
if you are Ubu Uzo Amaka patients, please unmute yourself and ask your question because I don't think we can really. I'm reading it too, but I can't make sense of that second paragraph. As
Like
for sharing
maybe
links available currently maybe available scholarship, Like I said, sometimes we post available opportunities on our platform. So if you join, if you request, because I haven't looked into those who have requested, if you request, one of us admins will approve of your joining the platform. But like I said, also, if you're inactive, you get kicked out of the platform. We don't want people staying dormant. You have to be active. You have to ask questions. You have to make, progress reports. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you need us to do. Ask questions. So please ask your questions, so that we can understand you properly. Wait.
I think she's talking about if you can pick an available scholarship, then go through the application process to make one stand out. For
I
example,
still don't understand that. Just let the person speak up and let us. That's why I say sometimes it's easier to express yourself by just speaking. Please, Uzamaka, just speak up. Is there any other question on the chat?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Obu Zamaka. Okay, what I'm trying to ask is about this fully funded scholarship. If you can maybe get an application, then go about the process. Like, go through the eligibility, go to the requirements, then tell us what you write to them that will make you stand out in that particular application. Then they can be able to admit you.
So what you want is you want us to spoon feed you. Like you want us to tell you exactly what to do to get the opportunity, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, nobody in this entire planet is ever going to do that. But what we can always do is to mentor you, is to guide you. Now, I don't know where you met our program, but if you're following me on Facebook, I write a lot about scholarship opportunities. I write a lot about how to go about some of these. If you were in the event from the beginning that I shared the roadmap, I usually write details on everything required, your SOP, your letter of recommendation. I write details on these things. So let me share, maybe that will be helpful. Let me share my Facebook. Maybe you can just go through my timeline and hopefully maybe you can get one of those articles I've written regarding studying abroad. I write a lot about it, so maybe from there you can be able to get response to your question. But just know that nobody. So this is my Facebook account. You can follow, then go through my previous post. You can scroll down or make a search and narrow down search. I've written several articles regarding so many things regarding studying abroad. In fact, recently, I think at some point I was taking up this series where I was talking about stop hoping, start building. I've written like five series on that. So that would be a good start for you. Then you can be able to understand how this thing works. But nobody is going to come and start telling you, okay, do this. I mean, you can get templates. People can show you an example of an SOP that has worked for them. But at the end of the day, their SOP can never be your SOP. You have to come up with your own SOP. You have to come up with your own motivation. So I don't know if this makes sense to you, Uzamaka.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So you can look at some of the posts I've made. Specifically, this is one. I mean, this is the when I started writing, this is the link to the first part of the series. So you can look at it and from there continue with the rest of the series. All right, Ngozi, what's your question? Ngozi,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes.
All right. Thank you very much for this section. It's been really enlightening and I really appreciate. Then I want to say that I've been one of the first people that have been following you for a while. And I was on the WhatsApp platform earlier on, but I got kicked out
Because you were
for the reasons
inactive.
you mentioned. I was
Okay.
dormant. Yes,
All right.
I was very inactive. And the reason for being very inactive, I've actually been cleared on this section by Zimuzo, right? Because I felt you guys are all like in chemistry, in the lab and all that. Like, do I really have a chance with this kind of things, you know? So I felt the lab wasn't for me. And so, but now that I understand that it's not just about for people that are in the lab or have something to do with lab, you know. So I'm really like encouraged to join again and then, you know, make a try, you know, in that respect. Then again, I wanted to ask a question. Um, for someone that follows through to get a scholarship and, you know, study, does it necessarily mean that you must be in the academia? Or I mean, someone can just go get it for knowledge sake and then like migrate to other things, right? So that's my question.
You've answered the question. Yes. You don't necessarily. I don't think I myself. I mean, I used to like going into academia, but I don't think I see myself wanting to go into being a professor or anything like that. So I just want to get a PhD and probably find something and work. So I don't, it's not a necessity for you to go into academia just simply because you're pursuing graduate school. So it all depends on what is your motivation. At first, I was really passionate about, teaching and all that, but over the years, I think I've lost that passion. So I just want to get my research experience and apply my research. I'm more research driven than being in the academia where I have to teach. So no, you're not mandated to always go into academia. Okay? So I
By
think that's
looking at by looking at her mentor, Zimu's already, she knows the answer.
exactly. So, and Zimozo has also shared their experience. So I'm very sure you will learn a lot from Zimozo. Well, if you join the platform and you still continue being inactive, you still get kicked out. I'm just letting you know. And I'm glad that some other persons who are requesting to join have heard you and how. So, because the thing is, we don't want people to always, there are a lot of platforms out there, where people join. People are even paying to be a member of a platform. And here we are making ours free. All we want for you is for you to engage. All we want for you is for you to make us help you. So once you become inactive, we don't want you there. We just get you kicked out. So I'm sorry if that makes you feel bad, but yeah, and I'm sorry that we got you kicked out before, but you know the reasons. So yeah, you can request if it's not possible, you can reach out to me and then we'll find a way to add you back. So, but if you can make a request, then I'll accept when I am reviewing those who have requested to join. All right. Any other person asking question? Any question from the comment section, from the chat that we haven't attended to? Ask your questions. There's no question that is foolish or stupid.
I
It's
don't
better
think
you.
there's any other question.
Okay. There's no other question from the chat. Wow.
From the chat, yeah, from the chat.
Okay. So those of you still in the meeting, if you have any questions, please ask now. We have like 2-3 minutes left to go, and people in Taiwan should be sleeping. This is like almost 12 a.m. their time on Sunday. Okay, Zwane, ask your question.
Thank you once again. Please, when I join the WhatsApp group, do I automatically have all of you's attention to answer all my questions? Like, are you guys now my mentor once I'm in the WhatsApp group? I asked a lot of questions. I'm sorry, please.
Yes, automatically we become your mentor. That's how this works. When we are free, remember we are also very busy, right? So
Yes.
Kingsley is still in the lab and it's almost 12 a.m. on Sunday. So
1
he's still in the
a.m.
lab. So we're
1
very
a.m.
okay. Oh, 1 a.m. Yeah, sorry, 1 a.m. I've forgotten we've now had 7 hours difference. So he's still in the lab, 1 a.m. I mean, even though he's doing this so that we can be able to help you guys. So yes, please, if you have questions, ask in the group. That's what we want. Then we will answer you once we are free. Frankly speaking,
Thank you
we
so much.
will. That's the essence of having you there. When you have questions, you ask. When you have things that you want looked into, you send ahead of time, then give us time to look into it. It's like my belief creating this platform has always been that the more we all succeed, the better for us.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the philosophy that I operate on. So yes, please, we are all your mentors. Kingsley is the director of mentorship. Chukwemeka is the assistant director of mentorship. And we have other scholars on the platform who are currently studying in various places in the world that will respond to you. Zimuzo, everybody is in the platform.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
I've made my request to be accepted.
Yeah, we'll look into that. I'm not going to look into accepting anyone right now until I review. So just send your request. I'll look into it afterwards and then, yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, the recorded session will be available on our YouTube channel. I already shared our YouTube channel. I'm encouraging you guys, please subscribe. That's the only way you can support us. Follow our social media pages. We have an account. Raphael Oniku Foundation is on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. You can always search and please follow us. It's the only way you can support us. We're not charging you any money for mentorship. Thank you very much. After drafting an SOP, can I send it to you all to help? Yeah, after we have a way of you sending things for us to review. And remember, I want you to understand that we shouldn't be put under pressure because we have our things too. I mean, we have things going on for us too. So you have to send things ahead of time. And please, you have to do diligent work before you send. You can't just write one, maybe your first draft, and you look into it, you now send to us to review when it's not making any sense. We want you to have given your best, your 120%, if there's anything like that, before you send to us for review. So once you are done, we have you can ask again. This still boils down to the question we are saying. If you have any question, ask. You can say, "Oh, I'm a new member. Please, can someone share with me the protocol to share my drafted document with the mentors?" Somebody is going to definitely post from the previous post on how to go about that, or one of us will definitely do it. All right, that answers your question. So can the YouTube channel link be resent? Okay. Yes. I think someone is definitely going to reach. Okay, Chukwemeka has been sharing the YouTube channel link, so you should get. I'm going to share it to everyone now. This is our YouTube channel link. We've made previous events, so thank you so much for the. I will send you a message on Facebook so I can be added because I can't resend. Yeah, okay, yeah, just send me a message and yeah, I'll add you up. Would you advise me to go ahead and write IELTS because anytime I want to start applying this requirement? Well, you've been applying to places that have been requesting for English proficiency. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I have never written an English proficiency test in my life. And I doubt if Kingsley, Zimuzo, or any one of them have written English proficiency. Not that we are against it, but frankly speaking, you've been instructed using English right from your primary school. Why should we need to prove to anybody that you can speak English? Besides, most places that are requesting for you to even provide English proficiency, it's not like their own people are even better than you. So for us, for me, I don't think it's bad, but I don't really advocate for IELTS or TOEFL. But if you think you need it and the school you're applying to is the only place you want to apply to and they need English proficiency, then by all means, go ahead. But for me, there are so many other options out there where places I could go. Also, if a place is asking you to apply to supply English proficiency tests, if you can get a cover letter from your previous university telling that shows that okay, this person was instructed in English and have as a student, you can use that as a cover letter and request for English proficiency waiver from such universities. So again, if you join the platform, you can ask these questions. How do I go about requesting for English proficiency waiver? Somebody is definitely going to answer you. So I think I've responded to this one. Okay, Kinsley has responded to someone. Is it really compulsory requirement? In Taiwan, no, it's not a compulsory requirement. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. There's no other question, and it's 12 p.m. my time here. We've been on this for like 3 hours. I want to especially, thank every one of you for the participants for taking out time to be here. If you started with us from 3 p.m. and here you are now, 6 p.m. I just want to say thank you. Is it 6 p.m. or more? I don't know. But I just want to say thank you for making this opportunity, for creating this opportunity for yourself. I'm definitely sure there's something for you to take home with today. Then to our speakers, I am always very grateful. The time that you've sacrificed, your presence, your responses to questions, your encouragement, these things are things that I know will be so helpful to the participant. I am very grateful. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you for being on this platform with us. Hopefully, this event would yield fruits amongst some of you. So thank you very much, and may God bless every single one of you. Yeah, so this is the end of this event, and yeah, it's a success. Thank you very much for coming. Kingsley, thank you. Zimuzo, thank you. Famoge, thank you. Confidence, Gabriel, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your experiences with us and for answering these questions. Wait, is Gabriel still here? Gabriel, they've gone. Gabi.
I think he's still here.
Gabi's face was looking like he was feeling sleepy. Is he still here? I'm gonna end the recording session now.